I think we're doing the thing now, guys. It's the stream thing. Go live. Hold on. I hit the button. No, now we're live. I think.
Are we? I've got it up. It's like 10 or so seconds behind. So we are live. 10 seconds ago.
Hello everybody. I'm the real Brawny Buck, and I wanted to say I'm not gonna start cursing yet. I'm gonna wait till we're at least halfway in, maybe. Thank you everybody for showing up to this wonderful stream today. This is Brony to Dates. Today we have our friend DJ Skywalker. Say hello.
Hello.
Brony Cordero. Say hello.
Hello.
We have Chucklyfun, the toaster oven.
Hello, this is Chuckly in the house.
You are not in my house. We have Heather Blossom. Heather Blossom, say hello. Hey guys! And we have me, the totally real Brawny Buck. Hello everybody. Let me start this.
I believe this.
Yes.
I'm buying it.
All true.
I know. Feel my beard. It feels so real, doesn't it? I'm Brawny, and I would
yes,
totally.
I can feel it through the internet. I can feel your beard.
I would totally
I think
let
I'm feeling
everyone...
my beard here, so I'm a little bit confused.
All right. So
but
let's...
I can imagine what your beard feels like, and that makes it believable because it's real.
Yes, absolutely. And I know what it feels like more than anyone else because I am Brawny and not Heather. Anyways, let's get to my intro. Thanks. I want to take this moment to thank all of my generous subscribers on Patreon for supporting my videos, especially Princess Heather Blossom. Oh, why does she do it? She's so amazing. Kyle Christensen, Shady Oak Ministries, Stephen A. Wilson, Emerald Spencer, Wreck, Bootleg Bard, Rein-Kun, DJ Skywalker, hey, he's right here, Sodden Girder, Sit McConroy, Autoknight, Princess Sunshine Sparkle, Senko, Jen and Kellogg, and the Equestrian City Heroes series. Be sure to check out their content links in the description and thank them for their support. Today, we are here to stream, and to stream...
I didn't hear my name. Excuse me? What is this?
Are you on the Patreon?
I am on the Patreon.
He doesn't have you written. He doesn't have you written.
What do you mean he? I'm talking to you, Brawny. Why didn't you say my name? Brawny, who's in this room.
Brawny's talking in the third person.
Abort. We gotta go now. We gotta make the emergency exit.
Game
over, man. Game over.
They found us.
Oh no. Game over. So I guess if you haven't guessed yet, I'm not actually the real Brawny Buck.
What?
The real Brawny Buck lies you down.
He's gone. It's my show now.
We need an evil music bumper.
DJ, that was your job. Your name is DJ. Do something.
Done.
Gosh, you're all terrible at your job. I'll accept it.
Sure.
All
Best
right.
I got.
So I guess Brony Cordero's on there. Brony, when you get back, you sure gotta add that on. I look like a jerk.
Alright, PonyCordero is in the bottom section that he doesn't read off for announcements. I'm not sure which donation levels he's at, but I'm down there as well.
God.
Oh my god, it's all lies. It's been revealed to me now. It's all lies.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me. I'm leaving.
Oh my god.
In fact, I'm even before you. If this is in like order, like you're almost at the bottom.
Well, I should be at the bottom if it's in order because I'm probably the most recent.
Well, I meant
one.
like alphabetical order, but yeah, okay.
Let me see here.
But anyway, we should fight. So tonight's debate is how bad of a host is Brawny? Is he the worst, or is he the worst in history?
Oh my god. Back on track. The actual topic we were here to discuss today was the free-to-play business model that you commonly see with video games. You know, like let's name a few examples. Fortnite,
Candy Crush.
Overwatch, yes, Candy Crush is one of them. Roblox, Raid Shadow Legends. We have
League
of Legends.
Pretty much any gacha game.
Most mobile games.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think the latest craze is Genshin Impact.
I like the Genshin Impact. We'll be talking about that tonight.
And so just going over a brief overview of the free-to-play business model. Obviously, it's just how it sounds. It's free-to-play, but it can also be synonymous with other things like free-to-win, like you have to pay to get certain upgrades, or, depending on the company. So why don't we go around and you guys give your impression of the free-to-play business model and what you
It's definitely not free-to-win. It's pay-to-win and free-to-lose.
You know what? Yeah. So, since you started us off, Cordero, why don't you give us your impression and your stance on the free-to-play business model?
It's all terrible. They should all be deleted from the internet, including League of Legends, especially League of Legends, starting with that one.
Can we just call it LOL? Because I love that.
Yes.
All right.
LOL is cancer.
We are free to laugh at it.
Free to enjoy. How about you, Bryan?
So kind of a little bit more of an introduction here. I am a software engineer. I know a bit about software development and how these games are made. I'm friends with a lot of the game developers in town, including some that are friends of this podcast. Excuse me. And I am going to be kind of presenting the free-to-play business model as something of the game development future. And we're going to be moving towards that more and more, but not always necessarily in the ways that we see right now. We're going to see a lot more variety. But yeah, I'm definitely saying that this is the future, and we're going to see a lot less of the current, like, I'm going to pay $70 for a game stuff like we do now.
All right. That's interesting. What, DJ, do you have anything you want to start off with?
I am also against the free-to-play business model, but I am a hypocrite who takes part in it. So I am also part of the problem.
All right.
Well, aren't we all?
And I guess I'm kind of that lukewarm one where, like, I don't like most free-to-play games because a lot of them don't feel very good or feel very generic, but I do play a lot of them, and I have mixed feelings because I've liked games like TF2. I've liked games like I've tried Fortnite, and it actually wasn't that bad. It's pretty good. Pretty fun.
Heresy.
I know.
Now we know you're not Brawny.
Shockingly, didn't he tell us not long ago? Like, I made him play it with me and my nephews because my nephews, they like him a lot, so they want to play with him. And we did at one point, and he goes like, "Yeah, what? I actually like that. Wasn't that bad?" Because it's just like a freaking shooter, like, and it does very little wrong.
What was that?
Oh, I don't know.
It does little wrong. Like, I mean, I don't think people hate Fortnite because it's a bad game. I think people hate the scene around Fortnite.
Isn't that typically the case with a lot of games these days, or a lot of like media and content?
Often.
They don't hate the actual thing; they hate the people that participate in it and like surround it.
Fortnite,
yes. They hate the players.
Nobody hates League of Legends more than League of Legends players.
Yes.
It's a hate group. League of Legends is a hate crime.
Yeah, like, I hate when people say, like, I'm not a fan of whatever anymore because the fandom was toxic. So I'm like, don't be a part of the fandom then. Still enjoy the thing, just don't be a part of, like, don't contact those people that make it suck. Like, I could have done so many fandoms.
I go into League games and just mute everyone. Like, I don't even give people a chance to piss me off. I'm just like, and you're all robots. I'm the only human here.
So, how about I start this off with a little bit of my thesis? I already presented the idea that I think a lot more games are going to move to free-to-play. How about I introduce the topic a little bit better?
Yeah, absolutely. Do so.
Sure.
Yes,
right.
Let's have the devil's future.
So, back in the before times, we all bought games as a product. And that means that you'd go to the store and you'd buy a disc or a set of floppies, and it came with manuals and it came in a box. And that was the ancient way of making and distributing video games and software. And you could essentially sell that product off to somebody else, all the stuff together, and you'd no longer have that product, and now they would.
Yep.
Over time, we started moving to more digital distribution. We started getting things like expansion packs. We started getting things like DLC and upgrades to the game. And over time, what happened was that we were really paying for was updates to the game and changes to the game. and that becomes something more of a service model rather than a product model. And now in the current era, we've moved much, much more heavily into the service era, where companies are expected to maintain games, provide updates constantly, not just like every few years, but like if you're not putting out a balance update for some games every month, people start to move on to something else. They're also expecting new characters to be added. They're expecting new levels, a lot of different things. So basically right now, people are expecting you to develop games as a service, not as a product. And as part of this new service model of game development, what we're going to see is that free-to-play is actually a much better way to handle it, rather than the ancient, only the people who pay for the game can play it.
Yeah, that does seem to be the way the wind is blowing.
Is everybody following me so far?
I think so.
No, I think you should explain all of it from the beginning.
Rewind.
We're on your tail, Red Leader.
The next step of thinking here is that the old model of developing video games, you had a very, very limited audience. Basically, everyone who bought your game, only those people could be fans of it and could play it. If you allow everyone to play your game, suddenly you have a lot of free advertising for the actual parts that people are going to pay for. If you have 1,000 people playing your game and only 10% or whatever are paying money, you're still making a lot more money than the people who have nobody playing their game because they don't have any advertising and they don't have any player base. The way to get money right now is to get a gigantic player base and have a fraction of that player base actually pay you money. And by going free to play, you can expand that much, much larger than if you put any gates in front of it. Like Overwatch tried to do a hybrid, and they did okay with it by making you pay up front the full price for a game, and then they'd have you pay individually later on for tiny upgrades and stuff like that. But then along comes Apex Legends and Team Fortress 2 and all these other games, and a lot of those were more successful just because they let anybody play free to play. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of the concepts in a software development industry, in a digital industry, is that everything is a lot easier to distribute. So in a product industry, you pay a bunch of money to produce the product, and that's where most of your money goes. You do a tiny bit of development on the product, and then you do a ton of money actually producing the product. And we're talking about things like, hey, I'm making paper, or I'm making cars, or something like that. You've got your production costs, and you've got your development costs. And for a product, almost all of your money goes into the production costs. But for a service company, the copying and the production is very cheap. You're essentially just copying the software here. So it doesn't make any sense right now to talk about software as a product company. All of the money goes into the development, into the service cost. All of the money goes into paying software engineers and artists to make changes over time. And that is why we're kind of moving to this new service model, because the original model, they were only secretly a product model because they really didn't spend a whole lot of money printing out software, but they spent a little. But they've tried to get rid of that now as much as they could. Xbox tried to get rid of it completely and they failed, but we're going to be moving completely to the service model and trying to have as many people play games because it's so cheap to distribute. It's free to distribute. So it doesn't make any sense to make people pay for the distribution. What you want to make people pay for is the development and paying the software engineers to change things.
You know what? You've actually convinced me. I'm gonna flip sides.
All right.
Mostly I want to flip sides because the current product model, like the current games that are sold as a one-time product up front, those are actually infinity times worse than any free-to-play game or pay-to-win situation going on right now. I actually hate every single game that's a standard mainstream $60 release right now. They're all terrible. All of them are coming out incomplete. They're coming out incomplete. They're coming out terrible. They're coming out buggy. They're coming out with bad netcode. They're coming out with bad online play. And they basically just suck. You're paying $60 for nothing to only have to be forced to buy DLC later to either complete the game, complete the story, or be competitive. So everybody complaining about the pay to win model, that's everything. If you buy a $60 game, you still have to pay to win on DLC, but you just have to pay $60 up front for the right to do it. Where at least the free to pay model, you can at least get the game and get a taste of it and be given a reason why you like the game for no money. You can be talked. Your demo version of the game, which is basically the put zero money in, is effectively an uncompetitive demo. But in that uncompetitive demo, you can get enough immersion to be like, you know what? I do like this game, and I am going to spend money on it. But I'll never spend money on skins. Enter 3 weeks later when you've spent your entire paycheck on skins, and that is the exact type of evil that I'm looking forward to. That's the evil I want to get used to. Let's get away from the product model of the $60 game, because they're all broken and they're all terrible. And hey, all of the good developers are on free-to-play games.
So there's another issue here.
Dang.
There's another issue here. It's not just the big budget games. A lot of indie games are running into their own issues with the old model of sales. A lot of indie games are basically selling their games in bundles. You buy from Indie Gala Bundle, Humble Bundle, Chrono GG, a couple other places. They sell the games at a deep discount. They basically buy a bunch of Steam keys in bulk, and then they sell them in sales. And now, anybody who kind of got into these services has 1 million games on their Steam account, including me, and they hardly ever play them.
Yep.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, was there a problem?
People were saying you were having audio problems, Pony.
Oh no, that probably wasn't his fault. It was probably mine, because Brawny has like I said, Brawny has all your volumes up to like 200%. So when you started going off, it started to hurt my ears. So I turned it down a little bit. I was just like, God. Look, I'm doing all of you at home a favor. I'm doing all of you at home a favor. I'm also in the car. Saving your ears.
I'm also in the car, so I objectively have the worst audio.
Oh, okay.
Probably, but I don't know. It seems decent enough.
All right. So anyway, I was saying we have all of these games that people got on bundles, and it's not doing me very good to have just a ton of games that I'm not playing. It's not doing the developers any good because I'm not playing their games, and I barely gave them any money for them. I got them all on discount. So it's just kind of a weird situation overall. But with the free-to-play model, I don't need to have them on my account. I just have to go and pay the money to the games for the games that I'm currently playing. And it can match my budget. I don't have to I need to put money into this game because I might want to play it 30 years down the road, but I need to get it on sale now in case I want to go back to it. No, I just have to put a little bit of money into the games that I'm playing now, and if I move on to a different game in 2 months, I switch my payments to that. And that makes a lot more sense than having 1,000 different games on my Steam library, which I'm not going to play.
100% agree. Yeah. Because at least in the before time, I was there, Gandalf, and Pepperidge Farm and other memes. At least in that era, if your games were literally collecting dust on the shelf, you at least had a cool looking collection that was like part of the decor of your house. You can't really decorate your house with a Steam library.
I mean, I can look through my Steam library and kind of like, oh yeah, that's some cool cover art they made for that game. Maybe I should finish up the games I'm currently playing, and I'll get to that in a while. And then I start playing Genshin Impact, and it's about 10 years down the road I'll get to that game. But yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I think I brought this up in a conversation I had off of this stream, and kind of a little bit off topic. I was a little bit edgy with like when digital downloads of games became more popular, because it's like if the company goes under or I lose this hard drive or something like that, it's like, you risk a chance of losing the game forever. And I'm just
I agree, you are edgy.
I'm totally edgy.
So that's kind of a similar topic, which we can just touch on right here. Game preservation. It ties into another idea called open source gaming. Now, that's not the main subject of this talk, but free-to-play business models do make it easier to run an open source games business where you could keep the game around and let other people take over the development and take over the running of the software in the business. And you can still pay your developers based on income from the game, as long as you have a way to generate the revenue. There are ways to do that. You can do a Genshin Impact, like model, where you basically have people connect to a server and they buy gacha stuff, and
Gotcha.
you can still have the software that people download and they can run their own servers, but they're not necessarily going to get all of the content from the game. Just like if I was running the server, I might have like my own world file, and I might have my own art for the characters and stuff like that. They might have to make their own set of characters, but they'd have the engine at least, or something like that. Does that make sense?
I'm going to say yes.
So basically, you can have more game preservation with free-to-play as a maybe. It depends on how the developer does it. It opens it up. It cuts down one of the barriers that has always been in the way of games preservation.
Because aren't people worried about their game just changing over time to where it's, the ship of Thesis is just not even the game that you started playing a long time ago? Like, people flipped out when they released like patch 1 vanilla World of Warcraft, because it was so different, and people like went on a nostalgia trip playing patch 1 World of Warcraft, because it's just not the same. And is that what you're talking about with games preservation?
Well, the primary issue is that the system that used to play it on isn't supported anymore. So like, we don't even let you download the game anymore. Yeah. So the game.
I'm talking about something different.
Yeah. Now that is another issue, and that's similar with open source. You have access to all of the old versions of the game, and lots of people make mods to adjust the game to the old version, even if you don't provide that for them. So yes, you definitely could solve that problem as well with an open source.
Which I like that. I like that exists in the people. I like modding communities in general, and any game developer or company that comes out against mod communities or tries to shut them down should all die of cancer. I mean, think happy thoughts.
Yeah, you needed to throw in some salt somewhere.
Yeah. From the beginning, I'm made of salt.
You did have some other topics that we were talking about a night or two ago. Did you want to bring those up while we're in a... specifically, we were talking about this very topic, updating games for new systems and re-releases.
Yeah. Which is an example of, this is what was in my head when I flipped sides. They're releasing Advance Wars 1 and 2 on the Switch. Advance Wars is a Game Boy Advance title from like years ago, like 21 years ago or something. It's a really fun game. I've always loved to play it. And I'm like, oh boy, I sure can't wait till they release Advance Wars 1 and 2 on the Switch with a graphical update, but still the same old nostalgic game. That's gonna be fun. What do I pay? $15? $20? $12.99? $60 goddamn dollars? Nintendo, you want me to pay $60 for you to port a game to the Switch and give it a minor graphical update? Go to hell, Nintendo. That's why the product model that you were talking about is broken. That's the state of the product model, people. You can have new games that are unfinished and do not work, where you're basically a beta tester for $60, or you could buy the same games that you grew up with 5, 10, 20 years ago for the same price that they cost when they originally came out. That's games by product. Kill it all. Pull the plug. Everything should be free to play. Welcome to the future.
I mean, that's more of an issue with Nintendo in general because they've always
It's not
done
just
that.
Nintendo. They have always done that. It's not just Nintendo, though.
Well, Nintendo's the one that does it all the time with their games. They never go on sale.
So almost every big company re-releases games for a new system, and the reason why is because they need to train up their development team on the new hardware, and it's a very low risk way to do so. The game's already done. They just need to re-optimize it for the new system and have the art team take the old designs, which are already done and are already perfect, but just update textures and stuff, and then they sell it off again and they make some money. And that's all fine and good, but they're
new game retail is insane for that.
Yeah.
Charging new game retail for that, we should all be revolting against that. But the problem is people are not.
Well, they're
buying it.
There's I think one game that did this successfully. I don't necessarily buy every new release, but Hyrule Warriors released essentially the same game on 3 different systems: on the Wii U, on the 3DS, and now on the Switch. However, each time they did so, they added on a literal ton of DLC. And on the next system, it included all the DLC plus the stuff that was in the previous release. So when you get Hyrule Warriors on the Switch, you're getting like a game with 300 hours of content. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
So you're basically getting a new game worth of content on every single release.
Yes. Assuming that you didn't.
Which that's okay. Then that's fair. That you're actually getting added value that would be worth the price of a full game. A graphical update is not worth full price on a game that's 20 years old. That should theoretically be in the bargain bin. But for the privilege of it being on your new system, because they figured out, hey, everybody sure loves to go onto the app store or the whatever store, the retro store on the latest system and play the old games. That's great that people like to play our old games. I have a great idea. What if we stopped having an old game store and just repackaged and sold everyone the same games at basically a 600% markup?
Yep.
And that's basically that's why this is so offensive. This current model is just it's basically a scam. It's pretty much a scam. You're being they're being like, hey, do you want this orange? It's a really good orange. Yeah, I'll take an orange. What is it? $1? It's $20. Yes, you are getting an orange, and it's probably really good. It's probably a tasty orange. But paying $20 for an orange is a ripoff.
So the way that games like Genshin Impact do this is they sell you something that you really want as a premium. Like, they're selling you characters and stuff like that. And along with, when you buy that character, you're essentially paying for 1,000 other things in the game, which they're kind of giving you for free. You're paying for it being ported to new consoles. You're paying for game updates, new events. You're paying for a lot of new content, new plot, new story, all that type of thing. But the only thing that you're actually paying for as a transaction is usually a new character. And
in Genshin Impact, but that's a free to play game with regular updates. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
I've never played Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a free to play, massively multiplayer online game. Like, you're looking at like Final Fantasy Online 14. You're looking at World of Warcraft. But instead of paying a monthly service fee, which most people do anyway, because that's the easiest way to get all the stuff you want. You just pay for the stuff you want, and that's usually characters.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Like if they're providing DLC and updates to the game and charging reasonable amounts for what they're adding, then that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Is Genshin not a gacha system? I thought it was.
It is a gacha system. What I'm saying
so
is,
you're not guaranteed the character.
You are guaranteed the character within a certain limit. It has math to it.
So
you're guaranteed
you're not
something,
guaranteed
but
the
it's
character.
not necessarily. Yes, you're guaranteed something. It's not necessarily the character you want unless you spend more money, or unless you wait longer. Like if you're more patient, you can get that character.
Oh, did you want your waifu? Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay.
You have to wait.
Fuck
You have to
pay
wait.
me.
You have to wait twice as long between payments to get a real guarantee on getting the one you want. And then if you get it, you don't have to wait again. But yeah, it's a gacha game. And the people who play it are comfortable with that. And there's a bunch more to get into gacha games, which are a good way to add a counter to this discussion. Like, gacha games are very like used car salesman environment in terms of sales. They do limited time offers. They do big discounts that make you feel like you're getting a good deal, but really you end up paying like the same fees that you would to World of Warcraft or something like that. You're just doing it for what you really want.
Car salesman and gambling.
Yep.
There's another old boomer term for this. It's called a bait and switch. Oh, you wanted this? Just kidding. Yeah, we have that. Oh, just kidding. You get that. That's literally a bait and switch. So gacha games should just be called bait and switch games.
They definitely ruin.
They are the model for free to play, though.
Yeah. And I like Genshin Impact the way it does it. It gets me really involved. But there's definitely
far be it from me to say something positive about League of Legends, but at least you can just buy the champion you want, and you just have it.
Yeah. And you don't have to wait for rotation or anything. You do have to wait for rotations in League of Legends for free characters to try out, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They rotate 8 champions per week, that are free, and everything else you have to buy. Or if you really want to just play for free, you just rely on whatever the 8 out of 150 champions they let you touch.
And League of Legends did have a gacha system for like drops, but it's like time invested in the game. Yeah, for loot. So everyone's kind
of used to that for loot.
Yeah. And that's really fun. Like
it is fun because you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it is fun because it's got the thing where you could always just buy the champion, but it's like, hey, if you want to try your luck, you can play the loot system and you might get lucky.
And for a loot system, it kind of turns that part of the game into another game.
Yeah.
You try to optimize. Oh, here are my existing resources. I'm trying to get this, but this has a discount, and that is kind of cool. What if I just put aside my desires for the girl with the ridiculous figure and get this other character, which I do use, and she does have a cool skin, and that's only 40% off with my rolls here. I'll just get that and not waste my money, and I'll get around to that other one eventually.
Yeah, exactly. They can get you into that. And also, when you use your loot to get some whatever free champion that you might get, you might be like, oh, I tried that champion out and I like it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I like gacha. In other words, I like gacha as a supplement. But are there games out there that use gacha as if you want a new if you want a new whatever, that's how you get it?
That's Genshin Impact.
Yikes.
Genshin
that's pretty
Impact,
much every major gacha.
So let me explain that a little bit better, because that's one of the biggest free-to-play games right now. Up there with League of Legends. It's making a lot of money.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
Yeah. So every day you earn enough money in-game currency. Every day or two, you earn enough in-game currency to get one attempt at a character, to get one pull.
Right.
And you need between 76 to 90 pulls to guarantee the really cool stuff that everyone's begging for. And you need about 10, 8 to 10 to get the other ones. You might get a weapon, you might get a lesser cool character every 10 pulls. So you're getting stuff about once every 1 to 2 weeks, and then really good stuff about once every 3 months, or once every 90 days. And once every 2 to 3 months, and you're guaranteed to get something about every other time that you pull something for like the 90-day stuff. So like if you're looking for a certain character and you had it lined up so that you didn't get it the last time, you're guaranteed to get it this time. And that's the same kind of logic that we were talking about with the drops you were saying. Like, I've got like a couple things here and a couple things there. You can get guarantees in Genshin Impact if you wait long enough and you're patient, and you can get that guaranteed character just by doing the normal amount of stuff to pay for that. And a lot of people.
That makes.
Go ahead.
No, finish up.
All right. A lot of people, like I was saying, you just need to put in time. A lot of people will put in time and a little bit of money, and they'll get what they want, and you're going to be running on about $10 a month, $12 a month. And you'll...
that sounds like it works out for them. However, I don't understand it, so and it doesn't make sense to me, so therefore it should be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It sounds like, but I'm not kidding. That like I'd probably have to like see it in action to get it.
Yeah. But in order to get character upgrades, if you want like the Uber version of your character, suddenly you have to spend a lot more money. Because on the first one you get, that's kind of cheap. You were able to sink all of your time into the game to get discounts on that. But if you want it faster, like you want every single character, or you want like upgrades to the character, which aren't required if you're going to be a cheap person. But boy, everybody who's like hot on this game and has the extra money, a lot of those people will sink in a few $100 every single character that comes on out, and that's how they earn extra money. Some of those people probably can afford it, and some can't.
Some of those people are called good players and real fans of the game. And if you're not dropping $150 a month, you're not good or a real fan of the game. But it's free to play.
The technical term is whale.
Yes.
Whale?
Yeah, they're called whales. And they will call themselves that, and everyone will have fun with it. And the nice thing about Genshin Impact is that it doesn't matter too much if you get a really good, like, the ultimate version of your character or not. You aren't competing directly with anybody. You're just having fun with the game. Like
it's PvE.
It's all PvE.
Well, that helps a little bit.
Yeah. So I would be a lot more upset if it was a PvP game, but there is no PvP inside of Genshin Impact. It's all kind of like Breath of the Wild. Technically, it's not even an MMO. You don't see any other players in there. You can match with your friends. You can get them into your game, but it's kind of like if you were like pulling your friend in and doing co-op on Breath of the Wild.
Right.
It's not a default thing.
Because I play Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
Which is a product model game that was like $25 or something. Actually, my friend bought it for me as a gift to get me into the game, which is another great way to get people into games, is buy stuff for them. So and Deep Rock Galactic it feels like a free to play game, but it's sort of a sandboxy game where you're going in and you're a dwarven miner in space, just trying to do your frickin' job inside like this giant asteroid thing, mining resources, and these waves of bugs keep attacking you, and you have to kill the bug waves while trying to do your job. It's the greatest game ever made. It's diggy hole the game, and I love everything about it. And that's very, very PvE. I'm starting to get more into PvE games. I used to not like them because I was like really competitive, but now a lot of PvP games just seem like such downer cancer games that just make you hate your life and everyone else and everyone in the game and all the little children of the world. Whereas like PvE games are like, me and my friends want to go have a good time together. So like, maybe I'm just old.
One of the problems
back in my day, we used to sit on the same couch and play video games on the same television set, and it was the size of a living room and weighed as much as the house.
One of the problems with these types of games, and it's not necessarily going to be a problem in the future, but it is for almost every game that we're discussing. If you don't play them consistently, you're going to get left behind and you're going to feel bad. Like if you don't play Genshin Impact kind of like just a tiny bit every day, because I was saying like, oh, you get like over 90 days, you earn up enough to get your character. If you only play like over those 90 days like 20 times, it's gonna feel like you played less than a month. And then you're gonna be like, oh, the new character's up, I want to get them, and you're gonna be like, oh, I don't have like a 90-day discount, I've got like a 20-day discount. I don't have enough to get them. And you're gonna feel bad, and if you're playing League of Legends and you don't put in the time, you're gonna come back to the game and you're gonna be like, oh, the game has moved on, I have no idea what I'm doing. And you're gonna feel this way on almost every multiplayer game out there. You're gonna feel lost when you come back to the game.
Exactly. You're gonna start that season mad you started off silver, take a break and come back and find yourself iron. That's exactly how PvP works.
And it's,
free-to-play games do not encourage you to take a break.
Yes.
Taking a break is basically meaning you will never be able to get into this game again without a lot of work.
Yeah.
Which makes
taking a break is for normies, get good scrub.
And we haven't really seen games which can operate without requiring that level of dedication yet in the free-to-play model.
Right. They're all meant to be addictive.
Yes.
Time sinks.
Yes.
Meant to be addictive, they're meant to get you money, they exploit the FOMO.
Here's a question for you, Bryan.
Gotta love loot boxes.
Yeah,
what was that?
Exactly. Thank you for the segue, DJ. I was going to say, are loot boxes gambling, Bryan? We were talking about loot boxes.
Yeah. And I'm not really against gambling, so like I don't really care. Like I would be fine saying.
But what about for children?
Yeah, I'd be fine. Like I was joking about this earlier, but children have always done loot boxes. We used to have trading cards. We used to have Pogs. We used to have blind bag stuff, gotcha games in literal stores that this is named after. You put a quarter in the machine, you get out a piece of junk toy, and you're happy with it. Mom uses that to appease you. All that stuff has always been aimed at kids, and it's always been.
There's a big difference there, though.
What was that?
There's a big difference there between loot boxes and trading card packs.
I don't think so.
The big difference is the trading card packs actually be exchanged for money. You can get something back out of those cards, out of those trinkets. You can sell it. You can get money back.
I'd be totally up for people being able to sell the contents of loot boxes. I think we'll see that in the future.
You can't.
I think it's...
Yeah, I'm not... currently, any company where you try to sell accounts and stuff, they put a big no-no on that.
I know.
And I do not see that changing.
This is a hypothetical future. It is not...
It's a possible solution to
it is
a
not,
legal ban hammer.
It is not it's not a required feature of loot boxes. It's specific to the loot boxes that we've already seen. But yeah, almost all of the stuff that people had growing up, they could trade back and forth, and that made things easier. But you'll also know, like,
it also made it not gambling.
Okay, yes, but I think it still was gambling.
But it's not, because
it literally changed. It literally changed because you're paying. Because those packs that you buy, those baseball card packs, those Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon card packs, that stuff that you buy that was a random chance of getting stuff. No matter what you got, no matter what it was approximately $3 worth of cards. So you bought a pack for $3, you were guaranteed $3 worth of cards. Whatever you bought, you got the intrinsic value of what you spent on it. Therefore, it's not gambling. But there was a random chance element that you might get the particular thing you wanted, or something that was slightly higher in value if it was more scarce. That's what made it not gambling, is that you weren't buying the gambling, the random part, you were buying the base product. Whereas in loot boxes, when you open a loot box, if it's not what you wanted, everything in that loot box is literal trash. It's either the thing you wanted or it's trash. That's the gambling thing. When you pull a lever on a slot machine, you're either going to win money or you're not. And that's what makes it gambling. Is it's possible to buy in and get nothing out. So kids, when they bought those physical things, they were buying in and they were guaranteed to get what they bought in out. That's why it's not gambling. Loot box is gambling because there literally is the chance of losing.
I personally see loot boxes and the gacha stuff as the old system. Like, you definitely do get something, and often the stuff you get is decent. That might vary
unless you already have
game.
it.
Yeah,
unless
I mean,
you are once you have it, it's worthless.
Well, that works
Actually,
the same with the old systems too.
there's
Once you have the old cards in Magic the Gathering, like you have more than 4 of them or whatever. Yeah, like that's kind of useless, right?
I think Heather was trying to say something.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was
go ahead,
gonna
Heather.
say, in my experience, some people try to alleviate. Like, I played Overwatch for a long while, and loot boxes were a part of that system. How they would try to alleviate it when you would open up a loot boxes and say you got a repeat of a skin you already had, or you got sprays that you already had. They would note that in the system, and if you got a repeat, they would instead translate it to in-game currency. So,
Yes.
like, you would get something back for that. Like, they'd be like, oh, you
But
got a
wasn't
repeat.
it not the same currency, though?
Not the
That
same-
in-game
no.
currency could be used to buy specific skins that you wanted.
Yeah,
So,
specific skins
you could build
or
it
more
up.
loot boxes.
You could build it up, and then you could actually just go in and buy the skin that you wanted and not have to do the gacha.
Though, I will say there were some skins that were hidden behind the loot box wall because they were, like, seasonal things. Like, I, for one, am a victim of loot boxes because for Overwatch, around Halloween time one year, they had this Zenyatta, like, Cthulhu skin, and I
Ooh.
really wanted it.
Yeah,
Because that's my thing. I got it on PC, but I was playing Xbox, and I'm just like, I want it, and I'm not getting it in any loot boxes. And it was like the last few hours of the event. So I spent money on loot boxes, and I didn't get it!
Oh no!
Dang.
You can't use the in-game currency.
Yeah, I
You
couldn't
get
because that was a special skin that was related to the event. You couldn't just outright buy it. You had to get it randomly by a loot box.
So event skins don't have the ability to purchase them.
Yeah, at
Like
least
the
not
other
at that
skins.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. Has that changed?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying not
Okay.
at that time, because I don't keep up
Okay.
to date with Overwatch. I've been out of it for
Yeah.
a bit, so maybe they changed that if people complained. Not sure,
Yeah.
but it
League
wasn't that.
of Legends did the same thing. There were legacy skins or like limited time skins that if you didn't get them while they were available or by meeting the criteria, that you just can't ever buy them or get them.
Yeah, and all of that I'm willing to discuss as like, but that's not a
That's not gambling.
inherent. That's
Yeah.
not an inherent part of the loot box system, and I'm willing to say all of this is gambling in some sense.
Yeah.
But like
Okay.
it's the sense that we're talking about that's important. Like
Well, whether
Okay.
or not kids gambled at card stores
Yes.
in the 90s or not, is loot boxes online gambling, and is it children gambling, and is that a problem?
I don't think it's a problem.
A lot of
So-
people think it's a problem.
Oh
'Cause, like,
yeah,
it's-
definitely.
Like we don't want to have online child casinos where they're basically running their parents' credit cards into the ground and
Oh,
and
no, I
spending
don't-
their own college tuitions.
I don't want that, but we have like the system I mentioned in Genshin Impact. Like you can set the kids up with like the monthly, just here you're gonna get a little bit of stuff each day, and that's in a lot of these gacha games. You just get like so many credits each day. You teach them to save them up, act responsibly, plan ahead, and then okay, if you want the stuff, you should have saved up for it. And that actually teaches the kids how to handle their money responsibly rather than just like spending it immediately.
Okay, well that's that specific model in Genshin Impact, and that's your specific strategy as a parent. But most loot box systems and most are not don't work like that, and most parents are not paying that close attention. Kids are just blowing actual money on literal gambling, hoping that they get that cool knife in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I
Especially when
definitely
those games
want.
also do not disclose that they have those systems.
Yeah.
Almost every gacha game has the system where you can get daily currency. That's very, very common. As far as the other stuff, like kids dumping tons of money into the game because their parents just let them, I definitely, I definitely think that parents need to manage things well here. Like, there's definitely possibility for chaos and for irresponsibility and for training your kids bad.
The kids getting their hands on a credit card, that is on the parents. I will agree to that. However, what I get at the games industry is they do not disclose that information to parents. They do not tell parents that these games have these systems.
There's another aspect to it as well, and it's not just disclosing that hey, we literally sold you a child casino to your kid. The other thing is that if an actual child was in a casino, in an IRL casino, or some parent brought their child into a casino and the child sat down at the blackjack table and tried to play with their parents' credit card, society would not say, wow, those parents need to be better parents. Society would expect that casino to be like, you cannot play. You're a child. Where are your parents? Do you see what I'm getting at? If these online games have loot box systems that are basically setting up, if not damn well designed to be child casinos because they know children will be more susceptible to this kind of dopamine hit shit, if they're doing it basically on purpose or even just neglectfully, and you basically have these child casinos, society would be like, no, games, it's your responsibility to make sure that you are not running child casinos. Like, that kid, you would expect that child to kick the kid off the blackjack table. You wouldn't just deal him out and be like, hey, are you in or not, kid? Oh, well, I guess you should have better parents. You probably shouldn't be doing this.
So I think the rule for slot machines, at least, is that the kids can put in money, but they can't get anything out of it.
Why?
So in other words, their parents. I'm not talking about a mom holding her toddler and letting her toddler put the coin into the slot machine. I'm talking about the kids just gambling on their own. Or like wandering into the gambling place and gambling. Which is basically what's happening online. Is children are wandering into the gambling place that was set up like a playground, and just kidding, it's a casino. That's pretty much the online loot box scene for anyone under 17.
That actually does vary a little bit game by game. Like I was saying earlier, in Genshin Impact, you're guaranteed to get something eventually, and that's the case with most of these games. Like, hey,
you keep going back to Genshin Impact, and I'm arguing about the loot box systems in general of the really big major titles. Like there are big normie titles that are like household names, and those have the bad gambling systems, not the popular weeb game that does it well and responsibly.
Well, almost every mobile game has a similar model to Genshin Impact called a pity system, where you are guaranteed within so many polls, they call them, to get something. And
those are probably fine then.
Yes. I mean, arguably, people argue that makes them more addictive. You feel like you're getting
that's
more
why
out
it's
of the
called
game.
the mercy system.
The what?
It's referred to as the mercy system.
Well, pity system too. Like each one, some of them have their different languages, game by game. But you're in a lot of these games, they give you these guarantees, so you're like, oh, I'm 30 away from something really good. I'm 10 away from something like that I can like have fun with like today, but 30 away from the really good stuff, and you kind of plan things out. So even if you like put in like 10 and you're like, oh, I didn't get anything, we're not expecting to get anything in that 10. What you're getting is progress. And then after that, you're gonna have progress towards the next thing and the next thing, as long as you keep on. Well,
good for Genshin Impact and good for mobile games to do that. But I'm talking about the games that are like, hey, click this button to win a diamond. It's a rock. Do it again. It might be a diamond. Guess what? It's a rock. Hey, this time it might be a diamond.
So we're talking about
that's the loot systems that are childhood casinos.
So more like an Overwatch model.
Yeah, Overwatch, Call of Duty, probably Valorant, and like tons of other games.
Hey guys, we're hitting the last 5 minutes of this hour. I didn't know if you guys wanted to go on much further than that, but
We
How
probably
dare
want
you.
we probably want somebody to pull some questions out from the.
I have been
chat.
pulling some questions, so if you guys want to address those now and lead some conversations through there, we can do that.
I definitely want to do that. We usually do that at the end.
I know, it's been a while since I've been in the old debating ring. But let me start us off then. Nicholas M's had the statement, I really don't like the idea of games as a service. It makes it too easy for companies to take away something you paid for any reason, legit or no. How do we prevent that from happening? So that kind of goes in a little bit to what I was saying.
So the thing that we were saying earlier,
yeah, about,
we need more freedom to have like copies of games and similar games, and to just like have the entire game that somebody else can run on their own as their own service and as a competing service. But that's kind of like opened up as a possibility here, but it's kind of like an up in the air, like it's not happening yet thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems pretty conclusive. But, okay. Charles B. asked, how weird is it doing one of these without Brawny? So, that's kind of like an open one. How do you guys feel about it?
I thought we had Brony.
Who?
It's better. He's fired.
Yes.
Brawny's fired. This is our show now.
Yeah, it's been going great.
It's been too peaceful. Everyone's been saying there's no antagonist. Everybody's agreeing with each other. Up until the is Genshin is gambling gotcha discussion.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if this is
this
more.
Is the friendship fellowship.
Bryan, I have not agreed with you since I changed sides. Like I basically changed to your side and then just argued you into the dirt the entire time after saying that I'm on your side.
I was gonna say,
which was weird.
I just gotta let this be more of an infographic show so far.
This went from Brony debates to cult conversations.
Oh my god!
Sadly, that's how it's been a few weeks.
I mean, they do make the Peacemaker.
Welcome to Brawny's Pizzeria and Childhood Casino.
Yeah.
Someone asked.
We're gonna get Jasper upset.
Friends of Brawny Buck, do you think that free to play is a lie because you have to pay a lot for stuff and updates? So we're kind of like I don't know. Do you guys have like a conclusive saying like, is it even free to play? Is the question.
It is and it isn't. That's the sad thing.
Pretty much.
It seems to vary from game to game. A lot of people don't trust it on a lot of games. I think that something we're going to see in the future, another business model, is going to be something more like the Patreon model, where Patreon, you pay a little bit to the developers every month. You get something out of it. You can develop games like that. We don't see very much of it. But
isn't that just the Fortnite Battle Pass?
Yeah, it's very similar to battle passes and the type of stuff I was mentioning in Genshin. It would theoretically allow you to handle things without the addictive, you need to play the game constantly, or else you don't get anything model that we kind of said with like the battle pass and the and all the stuff I was mentioning earlier. Like a lot of these games require you to be heavily invested in them as a time sink. Theoretically, with the Patreon model, you wouldn't have to be.
Yeah, I can see that working. We got I like this question. Paladin Pony T asked, friends of Brawny Buck, are there any free-to-play games that you like? Who would like to start us off?
I'll start.
Yes.
I played Dokkan Battle, the Dragon Ball Z trading card gacha game.
Okay.
I've spent way too much money in that game, and I regret it every time, but I can't stop.
I think you're arguing that this might be gambling then, aren't you, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And you have a problem. Okay.
I'm fully aware of it because this is a very old gacha game. It does not have a mercy system.
Oh, okay.
So
well, it sort of does. It added one, but it doesn't guarantee you anything other than a new type of currency. And that's only sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this went from 8 o'clock free-to-play business model, 9 o'clock DJ's intervention.
Yeah.
All right, so Cordero.
Yeah.
We've unplugged your computer.
We need to have a talk. Cordero,
I think,
you got any?
I used I played the Fire Emblem mobile game, which was I didn't know that I was a gacha system at a time, but it was definitely a gacha system.
Heroes?
Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yes.
Fair.
Yeah, back in 2014 when everyone played that game.
Yeah.
Good old
Or whatever. Yeah, that stuff was fun. Obviously, League of Legends.
Yeah.
I started silver and only declined from there, and I haven't picked it up for a while. Instead, I just watch pros. I watch people who are better at the game so that I don't have to rage.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
But then I get mad that Perks isn't working out in Cloud9, even though we paid $11 million for him. But hey, that's just like being a sports fan in general, which I grew up. That's a rage that I'm used to, so I'm okay with that kind of
I
disgruntlement.
feel so bad for Madden fans.
Man, this feels so much like pulling for a character in Gacha. You don't get what you want sometimes.
Oh,
Over the years, I've played a couple different games. Monster Super League at one point. I played the Blaze Blue original Gacha game, which is kind of like Blaze Blue is a fighting game, and they made a Gacha game out of it. I played AFK recently. AFK is decent. I just kind of got bored of it eventually. And most recently, I picked up Genshin Impact. I think Genshin Impact is really, really good. Like, it's kind of more like a PC or a console game, and the gacha part of it is, like, a lot more thinly laid out on it. I also, because I really like the company that makes Genshin Impact, I just picked up their other game, Honkai Impact, which has been around a lot longer. Feels a lot more like a gacha game. It has, like, 30 different menus to go through, all sorts of different events and stuff to do. That's traditional.
I love that we're getting philosophical now. Like isn't everything in its own way a gacha game? When you go to a restaurant, and you're not sure what's on the menu, is that not in a way its own gacha system?
Yeah. Like, what if you're gluten free and you just have to be like, well, there might be something hidden in these ingredients, and I don't know what I'm getting.
Oh my
Guess
god!
I'll die.
Every day is a gamble.
Yes.
That sounds terrible. I would kill myself.
Oh my god. Okay. So, me personally, I play a lot of free-to-play games because I am a moving person a lot. I can play things on my phone a lot. Doesn't say
And she's cheap.
It's poor, not cheap.
Broke gaming.
Broke is a joke. I spent all my money on this jewelry. Anyways, I've played a lot in my time. I guess the most recent ones, well, one that's not too recent that I liked a lot was what was it called? Animal Crossing, the camping one that you could play on your phone.
No.
That was free. I played that until, like, you keep up with it every day, and then I just got bored, and I was just like, okay, I'm tired of gathering peaches for, like, some of the ugly villagers that I don't want to see. Why can't I keep my favorite ones? Which you can
I heard
only...
Nintendo was really starting to milk that one.
They really were. I got bored. They they have Hello Kitty characters in there, and Hello Kitty's not even there. What the hell's that? Anyway.
Crossovers.
Oh,
Where was Agretzko?
Oh, crap, guys.
What?
Brony found out that I fired him, and he's sending assassins after me. I'll be back.
Oh, God.
I gotta run.
All right.
It's okay. He won't die. Maybe. Anyways, but yeah, other than that, I got Raid Shadow Legends. I didn't download it myself, okay? It was on my new phone when I bought it. It was on there, and I just kept playing it every single day, and I still do. But yeah, I've got quite a few that I play regularly. I do like them. That they work, and I don't usually spend money on that kind of thing. I think the only, like, free-to-play game that I've spent money on has been Pokemon Go. And, like, I can't recall. I think I did, like, just little transactions of, I need more storage. There's a Pokemon here I want, and I have no Pokeballs.
They get you on that storage every time.
Yeah.
Item storage, remote raid passes, Pokemon storage.
It's a pain in the butt. It really is, but what are you going to do? Well, I think that answers that question. Rusty Helm 93 says, question, if a kid uses their parents' credit card, how does the game devs know it's not the parents if it has all the parents' info?
That's a really complicated question. Most of the time this happens, the parent will call up either the payment processor, Google, or the company and ask for a refund. And
don't a lot of phones and other electronics and games, like, they require you to say you're, like, however old, and if you're young, at a certain age and you're putting in cards, it'd be like, do you have your parents' permission? There are ways kids get around that, but that's just the kid themselves being sneaky, like taking their mom's card after she said no, or like, like kids are smart. They find a way to get past the stuff that parents put up to stop these sort of things. And in that case, that's just...
You have to... Usually what happens is the kids manipulate the parent, and it's totally the parent's fault, I think.
Yeah.
Like they're just used to giving the kid a little bit of money every day in order to get him to shut up. Yeah. So they just give him the password, and then the kid does something like, hey, uses a lot more of it than they were supposed to because they didn't understand. And then the parent has to call somebody up and see if they can get it reversed.
Yeah, so, like, the company can try as it might to make sure that, like, parents don't, like, unexpectedly spend the money, because they certainly don't want to have to go through the process of a refund all the time, because kids keep doing stuff. So it's a little thing that has to be worked on by both sides. The games have to put the system in place so kids aren't spending their parents' money needlessly, and the parents got to make sure, like, be firm with their kids and make sure the kid can't access things it's not supposed to.
And that's why I said that a lot of these games on the mobile ones have systems that allow you to just get a certain small amount of money every day.
Yeah. So we're, as a society, we're evolving with this. Lilac Lavender had asked a kind of off-topic question, but it's relevant because we're all bronies. Friends of Brawny Buck, are any of you excited for G5? I asked because the trailer came out today. I watched that, and looks fun. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm definitely gonna watch it. What do you guys think?
I'm not excited, but I'm interested.
That's good. That's not bad.
I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I'm open. I have enough friends who are into this. That's kind of the same stance I had on the original My Little Pony. What happened was that I just saw so much activity, so much fan content that I was convinced. And they really showed off the series through all the fan content. And if this gets the same thing, I might be interested. And it's not just My Little Pony I've been interested in. There's a bunch of other series I've gotten into like that. But it's going to have to compete just like everything else for my attention.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. PonyCordero, I think, did we lose him for good? Because I
think so.
All right, so that kind of marks the end of where I had all my questions lined up that I found in the chat. Is there anything in the chat you guys saw that you want to address, or should we start to wrap up?
I think I'm done.
I didn't see anything.
All right, then let's start the wrap up here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. I know it was a little rocky. It's just super weird with Brawny's setup. Will he come back next week? I don't know. Maybe I'll get him out of that box I sent to Washington. I don't know. But anyhow, thank you for tuning in today. Let me read this outro and see if he's got all the names. If you have any comments, critiques, or suggestions, you can send Brawny Buck a message by following Brawny Buck on Tumblr or sending an email to bronydebates@gmail.com. This stream was supported by all of his generous backers on Patreon, especially Princess Heather Blossom, Shady Oak Ministries, Sid McConroy, Autoknight, Emerald Spencer, Sodden Girder, Senko, Kyle Christensen, DJ Skywalker, Stephen A. Wilson, Rein-Kun, Princess Sunshine Sparkle, PonyCordero. Hey, there he is. QFlash.
Yay.
Billy.
Hey, I'm back.
Billy Henline.
Thank you for reading my name.
Just okay, for you. He made it.
Okay, so I bribed the ninjas with Genshin Impact waifu skins, and now they're on their way to kill Brony instead.
All right,
like I need to
shows are forever.
This is our show.
This is our show.
Yeah. Are there any other Patreons of the late Brony that we should mention?
So we got QFlash, Billy Henline, Alden Mac Manx. I think that's pronounced. Sorry if I got that wrong, buddy. Dark Malcontent, author of the Metaverse series, and that seems to be the end of my list. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I tried my best to get everybody I see on this list that's underneath the outro. Brawny, you need to organize this shit better. Be sure to check out their content links in the description. You can also see how you can join them in supporting this channel and what you would get in return. Have a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you all very soon. Everyone say goodbye.
Goodbye.